For generations, human history was viewed through a distorted lens. High-budget Hollywood epics like The Ten Commandments and Eurocentric textbooks taught us to look at the ancient world and see a reflection that wasn't real. They cast white actors to portray African royalty, priests, and visionaries, conditioning the world to look away from the true cradle of genius. Mainstream education systems line up history in a flawless pipeline from Egypt straight to Greece and Rome, completely disconnecting the monuments from the continent they rest upon. They erased the geography. They minimized the people. But the earth, the stones, and modern science remember the truth. The scientific reality is absolute. Africa is the definitive cradle of humankind. Every single human lineage alive on Earth today traces its genetic data back to African soil. This is where Homo sapiens first stood up, walked, and began to observe the universe. Because humanity lived and innovated here for hundreds of thousands of years before migrating anywhere else, the fundamental building blocks of civilization were born here. Long before the first European empires were built, early African minds were developing advanced mathematics. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, thinkers created the Ishango bone over 20,000 years ago. This was not a simple tally stick. It was a complex mathematical tool used for multiplication, division, and tracking lunar calendars. This foundational African understanding of numbers laid the groundwork for the very digital logic that powers our modern computers and smartphones today. Before Stonehenge was ever conceived, indigenous African nomadic societies in southern Egypt constructed Nabta Playa more than 7,000 years ago. It stands as the oldest astronomical calendar circle on Earth, built to track the summer solstice, monsoon rains, and cosmic alignments with absolute precision. Africans were the world's first astronomers. When we think of early medicine, textbooks point to the Greeks, but thousands of years before Hippocrates, African physicians in the Nile Valley were pioneering true medical science. They were the first to systematically examine patients, diagnose illnesses, perform complex surgeries, and utilize natural antibiotics like honey to save lives. They didn't just practice magic, they engineered empirical medicine. This deep well of mathematical, astronomical, and medical knowledge flowed directly down the Nile pipeline. It culminated in the achievements of men like Imhotep, the brilliant Third Dynasty polymath. History recognizes him as the world's very first named architect. He revolutionized construction, moving humanity away from temporary mud bricks to build the colossal stone step pyramid of Djoser. Generations later, that engineering legacy reached its absolute peak. Prince Hemiunu, a native African vizier, masterminded and directed the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Armed with precise mathematics and flawless logistics, indigenous African architects and free, highly skilled local builders raised the tallest man-made structure the world would see for over 3,000 years. The architecture of human civilization, science, and mathematics belongs fundamentally to Africa. The doubts were manufactured, but the truth is written in the bones, the stars, and the stone monuments. For every future scientist, engineer, and thinker, never doubt where you came from. We didn't just join civilization, we started it all. It is time to reclaim the legacy.